Welcome to another episode of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. I'm Gary Hill, and I'm both your host and your reviewer. This is our 199th episode, and we're continuing our Halloween Connection coverage. This time around, I'm turning my attention to a movie, but not a specific release of that movie, as in not a disc, just the movie itself. It's that often misunderstood and often maligned Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. When Halloween 3 came out, Michael Myers was nowhere to be found. That really alienated a lot of fans. But I'm going to get into some of the history of that decision here because it actually makes sense. I'm sure many of you probably know all of this, but it's important to cover it in case you don't. When Carpenter did the first Halloween movie, he felt that Michael Myers' story was done. He had no intention of ever revisiting the character. His idea was basically an anthology series of films. The only connection would be that they would be horror films and they would all be set at Halloween. The first Halloween film made a lot of money on a very small budget for the studio. So they wanted more Michael Myers. Eventually they made Carpenter a deal he would agree to, and he came back on to give us all Halloween 2. Now, that movie wasn't the smash the first one was, or that the studio was expecting. As they say, it's hard to capture lightning in a bottle, and the first movie did that. For whatever reason, the second installment didn't fill seats in the theater like the first one had. So they made the decision to let Carpenter go with his first vision, an anthology series instead of more Michael Myers. And that movie became Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween is approaching, and a man is hunted down and murdered under very unusual circumstances. A doctor is drawn into the mystery that seems to somehow be tied to silver shamrock Halloween masks. While the original Halloween film was sort of a small movie, centered around one community and one killer, Halloween 3 is much larger with bigger threats and implications. Instead of a slasher film, we get something supernatural, but also technological. Halloween 3 in many ways hinted at the more world-ending stuff Carpenter would do later with his movies like Prince of Darkness, They Live, and In the Mouth of Madness. I would argue that this film set the pattern for those movies. The movie is creepy. It's classic Carpenter from the way the film looks to the music and mood. It has the whole snowball rolling down a hill effect of steadily increasing threat and intensity. A great touch for me is the meta of having the original Halloween movie on the TV at a couple points during the film. Honestly, I wonder if this had actually been Halloween 2 instead of the third installment, if the reception would have been better. Certainly once fans got the idea that the Halloween series was all about Michael Myers, this was a bigger shock than it would have been without the second continuation of that story. I think if you leave your preconceptions at the door, Halloween 3 is a great film that feels like classic John Carpenter. Sure, it's a little dated, but then again, it's an old film. It's still entertaining and really deserved a better chance than it got. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.